If you could please grab a seat. So my name is Susan Goering. I'm the director of the American Civil Liberties Union of Maryland, one of the co-sponsors of tonight's program. And I just want to welcome all of you. You came despite there's no threat of snow, I have to say, but you came despite the cold. And you came from all over the country, some of you, as far as Connecticut and California. And we're delighted. It means a lot to all of us who worked on this program to know that there are so many people of some importance who are really committed to the welfare of children and a child-centered housing policy. So thanks for coming. We have with us tonight Charles Rutheiser, who is going to say a couple of words. He's worked with the ACLU of Maryland and others in the housing advocacy group.
It's been like 9 years.
So it's good. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you. I'm a senior associate in the Casey Foundation Center for Community and Economic Opportunity. It's a recently created entity that helps unify our work on poverty and place. And back in 2005, when I was a member of the Neighborhood Development Unit, we worked with the ACLU and PRRAC and others, IHI, on the Thompson Enhanced Mobility project. It seems like a much longer time ago, and we had long waited for the moment when there would be an actual actionable, implementable remedy. And I know for those of you who've been at this since the mid-1990s and beyond, this must feel like a really exciting moment and a time of great excitement and satisfaction, but also probably one of, I want to say not concern, but just consideration for how we're going to be able to sort of move forward and actually realize the promise of this work that's been done for so long. So thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gretchen Susi, and I'm the co-director of the Aspen Institute Roundtable on Community Change. And thank you all for being here very much. As Susan said, what I think has become sort of the theme in a lot of ways of this is alignment, and alignment, connecting the dots that need to be connected in order to really make these remedies work, and keeping them connected over the duration of time that it will take to really make change. The theme of alignment is also very important for the roundtable right now and the transitions that we've been going through recently. This is an opportunity to realign, or this convening is an opportunity to realign and or align for the first time two of the main strands of the work that the roundtable has focused on for years, that of community change and racial equity. And we have been focusing on building or creating a common language and helping people to share that around a framework and a language for communicating, for thinking, for problem solving around issues that have become incredibly racialized over the years, and creating a critical mass of people who are informed and committed to making a change. But of course, the hard part is once you have the awareness and you have the commitment, how do we stay together and really apply equity lenses throughout the work, through the policies and the practices, and just the everyday work that really needs to happen, the elbow grease that has to happen in order to make movements a reality, so a reality of change. So I think that we have all aligned our organizations. It's been a real pleasure to work with everybody, and very, very easy. We were able to align with your schedules, and so I look forward to seeing what we'll be able to do going forward. So thank you again.
I'm Phil Tegeler with the Poverty and Race Research Action Council. We've been very committed to promoting housing mobility, which is in large part the topic of this convening. We've done a series of national housing mobility conferences with the Urban Institute, and as you'll hear tomorrow when I'm joined by Barbara Sard of the Center on Budget, we have been advancing a pretty ambitious Section 8 housing voucher reform effort at HUD over the past few years. And we're making some progress, but it's very slow progress. And I think our consensus really, we've come to the point of really understanding that in order to move this agenda forward in a more meaningful way and expand opportunity for low-income families in this very important federal program and programs like it in the States. We need to really broaden the constituency. We need to reach out to other sectors. And that's really why I'm so excited about this effort. It's an effort to, in the next 2 days, to reach out to folks in fields that haven't been at the table on these policies, and to try to start that process and continue the process of kind of expanding the tent. And I'm hoping we can move ahead on that. We see progress in sight. There's 2 more years left in the, or 2.5 more years left in the current Obama administration, and we're really hopeful that a lot of the progress we've made will see the light of day by the time the president turns over the reins to a colleague, I hope. So.
Hello, I'm Betsy, Julian. I'm the president of the Inclusive Communities Project in Dallas currently, and our organization is an advocacy organization focused on fair housing, particularly fair and affordable housing for low-income families. We participate in the Section 8 voucher program that Phil was talking about. I'm really excited to be here. I came the farthest. I left Dallas in the snow, folks, this morning. But the Thompson case has been a part of my life almost as long as it's been part of Susan's and Barbara's. I was in HUD when it was filed. I was at HUD when it was, the first part of it was settled, and I watched as so I followed the trajectory very closely, more than perhaps other people in the country. And I'm very excited about everything that's accomplished today and the future that we're going to be talking about and the potential for that. But I also have the experience of being a Barbara in my world, and we brought a similar lawsuit down in Texas 30 years ago. And today we run a mobility program in Dallas that came out of that litigation. And so what I look at that, meeting the assumptions and purpose, for me, the assumption is that we all care about, not just in the broad sense of fair housing issues that are involved in a desegregation case like this, or even issues of housing mobility, but for me, the thing that really makes this gathering special and unique, and also more urgent, is the research that is coming and will continue to come, telling us in some ways where our clients have told us for the past as long as we've been working with low-income families, which is they worry about their kids growing up in safe, secure environments. Yes, moving to opportunity is an important thing, but moving or not moving, being in a safe environment, a place where your kids' mental and physical well-being is secure, and so is yours. So then you can help them reach their greatest potential. That's what I think really in some fundamental ways is what all of our work is about in the world of housing mobility, or if you're an in-place strategy person, what you're about is trying to create that safe, secure place for children to live and grow and flourish. Patrick Sharkey's book, Second Place, I've read a lot of stuff on these over the years. That was game-changing for me. Because I've been focused in my career up until now on desegregation, the importance of protecting the civil rights of my clients, their rights to live where they wanted to live. Those are all very important values. But when you read Sharkey's book, chapter 5 for me was just profound, because it didn't just say it violates their civil rights. It harms them, harms kids in a fundamental way to grow up in highly distressed, violent, dysfunctional environments and communities. Not just that they're poor, but the world in which they live is so disordered for a lot of reasons that we all understand. But that's the world they're living in, and what it does to them and their ability to be the full and complete people they want to be is so horrifying that it really is about more than just access to opportunity. It's about access to life. So I think this focus of this particular framing of the issue, as the people who drafted the framing paper, did capture something that I think is a little different than the other conferences and convenings I've been to talk about this issue. And I hope everybody here sort of sees that as well. This is not just another conference about housing mobility. And I think the involvement of the health professionals is crucial because we're talking about the mental and physical health of children and the reality that we now know, we might have thought we knew, we now know that environments can, the reality of their world, if we don't do something to help at least a specific cohort of kids that we know are in the worst situations while we work on the other pieces of it. So I'm anxious to hear what we have to say, but that's the purpose of the assumptions that we care about these kids and that we now have a sense of urgency that perhaps we've never had before as the experts, the mental health professionals, the health people tell us what we're doing not to give these children a chance to live fully their lives. So thank you all for letting me participate.
I'm Barbara Samuels from the Maryland ACLU, and I'm not going to say much because you're going to hear a little bit more from those of us who were working with mobility programs tomorrow, but I'll pick up on a couple of themes. One was the sense of urgency that Betsy talked about. As I started reading things, I try to stay up on the literature, but when I read Sharkey's book and some of the papers that he's written that are contained in that book, I found them to be frankly chilling. And especially for those of us in a place like Baltimore, maybe some other cities as well, but where we pick up the paper every day and we read about the violence and we know that children are growing up in these circumstances and exposed to that. And then as I sort of became aware of the emerging medical literature, whatever you would call it, the brain science on how children develop and what we're learning about exposure to adverse childhood experiences. Again, that and thinking about our situation here in Baltimore, that just really gives me and the work that we do a real sense of urgency about this. And to pick up Gretchen's theme of alignment, I think that part of what we're trying to start to do with this roundtable is to align some of that science, the medical science, the social science, with, as Betsy said, what our clients have been saying from the beginning. And a lot of times it wasn't what the researchers really wanted to hear about. But what they were saying was, we sign up for mobility programs, we make these moves because we need to get our kids to a better, safer place. And that is the most important thing to us. And it really struck me that what we are really trying to do here in a way that we maybe haven't as much as we should have in the past, as we were focused on a lot of other outcomes, was to focus on the outcomes that matter the most to the families who are involved and to their children. So that's, I think, fodder for an exciting conversation. I'm really thankful for all of you to come. I'm thankful for colleagues from other disciplines to come and talk with housing people. I hope we can communicate across our silos, because we all, inevitably, we fall too much into silos. And I think this conversation can really benefit from breaking out of those silos and really talking with each other and gaining from each other's ideas. So, Josh, I kind of bogarted in front of you, but...
Yeah, after saying that you would go last.
Yeah.
I'm Josh Civin from the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, and standing in with my colleague Renika Moore for Sherilyn Eiffel, our Director of Counsel, who's going to speak tomorrow, and don't want to steal any of Sherilyn's thunder, except for to say that LDF has been pleased to be part of the Thompson case for, when Susan and Barbara came to LDF 10 years ago, they said it was going to be a short, quick involvement in the remedial phase, and we're still involved now, but it's so important, we think, to have this as part of our work, because not only is Baltimore a special place for LDF as the hometown of Thurgood Marshall and now Sherilyn Eiffel stitching through our director councils, but in addition, this case I think is really at the forefront of creativity in housing policy. And I feel like not only are we now bringing together social scientists and lawyers and our perspective for our clients, but we've really tried to do this all along, bringing John Powell and Zach Briggs and others to be our experts when we were creating a framework for the remedy and then moving forward to the conversation we're having now. And wanted to echo what others have said about our clients and their perspectives. When we had the fairness hearing now a year ago, we expected a little bit that there was going to be some opposition to this remedy, and I spent a lot of time thinking about concerns about that, but what we didn't expect was a real outpouring of comments from clients, participants in housing programs, voucher holders, and public housing residents, who really, if we had written them, we couldn't have done better ourselves, stressing the themes of what they really wanted to participate in the program and the opportunities that we were offering. Some stories that were really searing stories about the hardships they faced in public housing in Baltimore, the endemic violence, the difficulties bringing up children, and the opportunities and the hope that this brought for their families and their children. So I think it's in that spirit of those comments and that real outpouring that I think that we're excited to be part of continuing this conversation.
I just want to say that you will hear a lot from the advocates about all the work we've done. I want to also, as we sort of prepare and set the stage for the discussion, I want to say a word about how important the foundation community in Baltimore has been to us. I walked into Bob Embry's office, I think in 1989, a long time ago, and said we want to start building a housing case, and I explained it to him. And he has been faithful, and he and his board have been faithful to us ever since, every year, funding us every year since then. And these are not inexpensive cases to take on, trust me. And they go a long time, much longer than I ever imagined. So thank you, Bob, for that. It wouldn't have happened, none of this would have happened without you. It's that important. And I also just want to say that Charles has already talked about our work with the Casey Foundation. So we're grateful for that. And Betsy Krieger, who's in the audience with the Krieger Fund, has also is very dedicated to children and has helped us as well, supported us as well. I'm sure there are others who have been supportive, and we don't need to get into all of it. But since we're in Baltimore, I wanted to emphasize my prerogative here. So, John, are you ready to come up? Thank you.